Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cinderella phenomenon. And Fritz is right. We're kind of at the end. Fritz Varg Fritz. We're kind of at the end. Fair warning. My allergies are terrible right now because I'm just assuming it's the air pressure and just the weather because I am getting the outskirts of Hurricane Florence right now. It's mostly just it's kind of rainy, but it's not too bad, and just kind of scary wind gusts. So far so good. It's Friday. We're getting it just started. It just hit land this morning. Well, like the eye of it, obviously, like the outer lying storms have been hitting for a while, but um, yeah. So the outer bands of it are sort of reaching my area. It'll probably get worse as the day goes on. And I'm really just crossing fingers and hoping that it's not really bad. We had a tropical storm here like the year before, or last year, something. I don't know at one point, and I mean we did lose power. I'm really hoping we don't, because it's gonna be out for a while then. Just because I mean there are already so many people along the coast that have lost power. I think there's like over 100,000 people without power um, already, so it's bad. Uh, at least I think it hit land at a 2, but it's just the amount of rain and the storm surge and the wind. But by me, it's not too bad. I can see the trees moving, and then we get these gusts, and they move a lot. I think our gusts are like 40 miles an hour right now, which is tropical storm kind of range. There's a couple points where it's supposed to like we could get gusts up to 60 miles an hour, and I'm like, that's when trees are gonna fall. But so far, the torrential rain has not come. I think the band is slowly making its way to the point where once it starts, it's not gonna stop for like a day. Um, yeah, so it's kind of scary. I'm watching and the trees aren't really moving right now, but anyway. Yeah, so because of the weather, of course, my allergies are like, yeah, we're gonna make you feel like shit. So I'm sorry about that, but I wanted to be able to record this so because I'm crossing my fingers, and as of the moment, I have electricity, I have my internet and everything, so I can finish recording, uploading. So I am uploading all of the parts prior to this one. Hopefully, this and the next couple parts, however many we take to finish the game, I'm thinking at least 2, if not 3. I'll be able to process and upload before I lose power. If I lose power, again, crossing my fingers, I don't, because it'll happen. Like we'll lose power in the middle of the night tonight, and I'll be out all weekend, and it'll come back like, oh, Sunday night, now you have power, all ready for work on Monday. Fuck you. Like, that'll suck. No. No. It sucks. Because the office didn't even close. Like, oh, you can work from home. You damn well bet I'm gonna work from home. I'm not driving in this. Like, it may just be windy, but that doesn't mean trees aren't gonna fall. Like, hello, Jesus, assholes. Kind of pissed about that. So many other companies were closed for 2 days, and they just act like whatever. And I'm like, I feel bad for the security people at my office building. I'm not even kidding. Because the camp, like, they might have told all of us with laptops to work from home, and like, oh, the cafeteria and like the gym and all those kind of things are going to be closed. Yeah, but the security people, you're basically telling them if the campus is open that they have to fucking be there. You're making those people drive it. That is bullshit. We care about your safety. No, you don't. No, you fucking don't. Like, what a bag of douches. I thought the old company I worked for was a bag of assholes. I really did, and they actually closed their campus down here for 2 days. I'm like, that was the nice thing to do, is to close today. You know what I mean? Because I, yes, we're not really getting anything at the moment. There's a tornado watch all day in effect because of the storms. Um, right now it's cloudy and gray. The rain hasn't really come too much, and the winds, we're getting gusts, but it's going to get worse as the day progresses. And there are so many people that are worried. Like, they would have, I mean, I'm worried. I'm sitting here and I'm watching the trees, like, scared, like a tree's gonna fall on my apartment. It's gonna fall on my car. Like, I mean, and I can't imagine people who actually have homes where in areas that it could flood or have family. Like, I'm worried about me and the bird and my car, okay, and like my property. I know that's sad, but like but then you think about all the people who have to worry about, oh, my kids, and like, oh yeah, let me focus on these meetings while trees are blowing around. No, Jesus. Oh, it's ridiculous. Anyway, that's my rant. So 5 minutes in, I'm actually recording this at lunch. I'm working from home, and I working in parentheses. Like, no, fuck you. you're getting like a fraction of my attention. You're getting like an eighth of my attention at work because I don't care. Like, no, I'm still like, I spend most of my day like staring out the window, like, where are those trees going? Which way are they going? Are they coming down? Does it sound scary? Oh my God. Like, it's going to come down in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping on top of me. That's what's going to happen. Dear God, I hope no trees fall. Into the woods, that's fine, but not at me. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, um, so yeah, so hopefully I can record these and get these processed and uploaded. Like I'm doing this like in like process them, upload them, like in a matter of like hours from recording them. Just so, but just in case parts are cut off or you don't see, it's not for lack of trying. Like I'm really trying so that you guys don't get too much of an interruption. Um, while I have power, and again, hopefully we don't lose any. But anyway, so now we're here. I don't even remember what happened in the last part, and I just recorded it last night. Like anyway, like too much stress. Right? The night is deep, dark, and gentle, but I cannot find peace or sleep in the all-consuming silence. It's been 2 weeks since Mother's return, and 2 weeks since I've been able to sleep through the night. Most of my days are spent at Mother's side. Oh, that's right, she tried to make us kill a bird, the evil witch. When we aren't patrolling Angeal, she's teaching me how to use the Tenebrarum, readying me as her successor. Every day it only becomes clearer to me that the kingdom is suffering. People fear and hate us. It's even worse than it was before. Mother is cruel to everyone, even though I've yet to see them do anything wrong. Well, is this why Father hated her? Your Highness! I beg your forgiveness! My child was not watching where he was going. The man's son had wandered out in front of us. The soldiers' horses would have crushed the child if the man hadn't pushed him out of the way. The stop on the road had caused a delay in our arrival back to the palace. Mother had been out visiting a friend, a witch, an old friend, a witch. Mother? There's a blinding flash of light as Mother draws a shape in the air. When the light clears, the man has disappeared from in front of us. He's collapsed against the wall of a nearby building. Mother threw him into the building? Let us continue. But Mother, that man isn't moving. I don't think he's breathing. Oh, wind gust. Come along, Spacey. Mother, why did you do that? The man, he... Are you questioning me, Spacey? Mother's gaze is cold as steel, her eyes as sharp as a blade. I flinch away from her. You have become soft. The world has changed while I was sleeping. No, your daughter just got smarter and you're an evil bitch. Do not worry, dearest heart. I'll bring you back to what you were, I promise. Mother smiled at me then, the same smile she would always give me when I was a child. I used to be comforted by the sight of it, but now it terrifies me. And the king, I choked down the lump in my throat. He's gone. He speaks, he eats, but he's not there. Or here. If it were not clear in his actions, it's clear when I look into his eyes. He's right there, and yet I miss him. The frustration makes me restless. I stand up so that I can make my way toward the window and stare outside. I'm being ridiculous. Why should I miss him when he's been nothing but neglectful? I've forgotten how he stopped caring about me when he invited his new family into the palace. He treasured them and his kingdom more than he ever loved me. He never valued me. And yet I would give anything to go back to how things had been. The weight on my shoulders and in my heart is overwhelming. The feeling only worsens when I turn my thoughts to another person. Fritz. Yeah, Fritz. With a sigh, I lean my forehead against the cool glass of the window. Varg said that Fritz is still fighting, so he must still be in there. How can I help him? Fritz? Who? Before I can turn, someone clamps a hand over my mouth. The rest of my words are muffled. Long time no see. That voice. Oh, it's Jurian. Okay, never mind. I thought it was Delora. Jurian? That's right. Remain calm, princess. She slowly lowers her hand. I turn around and stare, surprised to see her here in my room. What are you doing here? Oh, dear God. That is a big-ass gust. It's okay, buddy. She smiles, and some of the weight in my heart lifts. We're on a rescue mission. We? At that moment, a man steps into the doorway, his footsteps cautious and soft. Garland? He doesn't turn completely, but cranes his neck to give me a soft smile. Glad to see you're safe, Princess. I can barely believe that the two of them are standing here. It's been so long. We apologize for being late. We've been trying to get into the palace for the last few months, but a powerful shield has been keeping us from entering. Lady Parfait could easily destroy it, but it would have meant destroying the palace as well. The last thing we want is to cause panic among the people. Mithras and Varg are crafty. They've been watching over the palace like hawks, and it was difficult to speak with Prince Rod when he was being watched around the clock. We needed more time to make sure our rescue mission wouldn't fail. Then how did you find a way inside? Lady Parfait managed to find a weak spot in the shield, but it's thin and only allows a few people into the palace at one time. Garland and I know this place better than anyone. That's why we're here to rescue you. Delora and Lady Parfait wanted to come, but the shield easily detects witches and fairies. But they're waiting for us at the Marchand, Princess. Was I meant to escape with Rod and Emmeline before? Yes, that was the only other plan we had, though it didn't go as expected when someone caught whiff of their plans and sent Varg out to kill them. So they tried to save me before and failed. Why did you come for me? They look at me, their expressions baffled. What? I cross my arms and look at them. Why would you rescue someone you hate? Princess, of course we'd come for you. You're part of the Marchand after all. What? Jurian looks at me seriously. Let's go. Jurian heads toward the door but stops when she notices that I'm not following her. Coming, Princess? How can the Marchand take me back after everything I've said and done? How can the Marchand accept me back? Do they even want me to return? I only realize I've spoken aloud when Jurian answers me. Princess, we wouldn't be here if that wasn't the case. We have to leave now. We're running out of time. I can think about this later. I nod and follow them out of my room. Jurian leads the way and I follow after her. Garland brings up the rear, his eyes alert as he constantly surveys our surroundings. The night around us is cold and still, but the quiet only makes me more anxious. Varg usually appears in situations like this. Is he not here? And I feel so useless having to be rescued like this. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Sorry. Garland reaches out to place a hand on my shoulder. We're almost out. Yeah, this isn't gonna go good. I nod, not trusting my own voice. Shh. Garland stands at attention as we continue slowly moving forward. Eventually, a figure moves to block our path. And what is this? I can't move. Jurian and Garland, however, already have their swords out. The deadly metal glitters in the gray glow of the moon. And here I thought the fairy had given up. Mithros. Her voice is a low growl. It's so full of malice it makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. Uh-oh. Let us pass. And if I did, where would you be taking the princess? Jurian's shoulders tense. Garland glares at Mithros from behind her. I could lie, but it would also be easier just to kill you. You're as bloodthirsty as ever. But unfortunately, I cannot allow your mischief to continue. Sir Mithros has just begun to raise his hand when Jurian darts forward, her sword gleaming as she raises it to slice at his arm. Sir Mithros howls, falling hard to the ground as he curls in on himself to cradle his injury. Good, next time stab him, because I bet if you kill him, we can release Fritz. Go, quickly! The remaining quiet is all but shattered as we run away from Mithros. Though he's in pain, I can still hear his voice call out from behind us. Don't think this will be so easy, Princess. I ignore him and keep running, not daring to look back. We've been running for a while now. My legs are beginning to go numb. It's only a little longer, Princess, and we'll be out. You're doing well. I can do no more than nod as I force myself to keep running. I am pathetic. I'm slowing them down so much. There! I can see the exit! Uh-oh. Something else is gonna pop up. Varg or Armand. I don't. Watch out! Tyrion falls back to evade the explosion and bumps into me in the process. Moments later, however, she's once again standing at the ready with her sword. Garland sets his hands firmly on my shoulders to help me regain my balance. What was that? A familiar face emerges from the smoke, her expression cold, told you. Spacey. Mother. I didn't want to believe Mithros, but here you are. Princess, get back. Mother turns to face Jurian and Garland, her expression full of contempt. I remember you. Jurian Valente. Oh, Valiente. And you as well, Garland. I'm assuming it's supposed to be Belro, not Belrot, because that seems weird. I don't know. Could be Belrot, but Belrot just seems kind of sounds gross, so. I thought I was rid of Alcester's pests. We do not work for Sir Alcester. Oh, crap, sorry. Sneeze. Alright, it's gonna be like this, like, for the next few parts, probably, because I'm gonna try to record as many as I can. No, you and your pet have changed allegiances, haven't you? What? What did you call him? The smile on Mother's face is bright and cruel. It sends chills trailing down my spine. Is that not what he is? Mother casually waves a hand at Garland, who remains quiet. He follows you around like a lost puppy. He's so desperate for a scrap of affection that he would do anything for you, regardless of his own pride. It is admirable how well he knows how well he knows his commands. I can read. Stop it. Come, Garland. Sit, Garland. Good boy, Garland. Yeah, but you just want to pat him on the head and ruffle his fur, don't you? Because look at his hair. You just want to toss him. He's adorable. Shut up. Jurian, don't. But his words come too late. Jurian rushes forward, her body nothing but a blur, her teeth bared in savage hatred. Jurian is fast, but Mother is faster. She raises her hand and sends Jurian back with a terrible flash of light as Garland catches her. And you defend his honor as if he were some poor maiden. How pathetic. Garland's voice is soft as he steadies Jurian. Jurian, please. She's just trying to get a rise out of you. I know that. Jurian throws his hands off, a murderous look in her eyes as she glares at Mother. Mother remains in the same place, smiling that terrible smile of hers. She's amused by this. Nothing more. Get the princess out of here, Garland. Well, what are you saying? I'm not leaving you here. When she's safe, come back for me. Jurian finally turns to look at him, a soft smile on her face. Trust me, Lan. There's a long moment of silence as the two gaze at each other. Unspoken words pass between them, and eventually Garland caves. All right. Both of them tighten their grips on their swords. Are you done? Mother hasn't moved, but her presence in the small tunnel is overwhelming. Her magic smothers the very air. Jurian sinks into a stance, her body loose and poised, seemingly unperturbed. Ready when you are. Mother doesn't attack. Instead, she turns to face me with one graceful movement. Spacey, stop this nonsense. This is not the time for games. Be a good girl and go back to your room. We're supposed to stand our ground. Dearest one? I stand resolute, taking strength from Garland's steady presence behind me. And take steady. What Mother is doing is wrong. What she wants isn't right and has never been right. What she's done to the king, what she's done to Angeal. How am I meant to look at her the same way? My voice is quiet when I finally speak. No. What? I take a deep breath and look her in the eyes. No, I will not return to my room. Mother's expression is unexpectedly calm as she looks at me. My own daughter would choose these traitors and liars over me? Is my love so inconsequential to you? Has she ever truly loved me? Mother, if your love is what love is meant to be, I do not want it. Mother's not who I thought she was. When I look at her now, all I can see is what she truly is. Evil. Clearly you've become corrupted during my absence. I suppose it must be the work of the infernal fairies. Never mind. Once I've destroyed each and every one of them, you will return to me, my daughter. She raises her hand and light curls around her fingers, but before she can cast her spell, Jurian is at my mother's side. Jurian's sword glints as it slices through the air and then through Mother's clothes. Go! Princess, come on. Jurian, if we leave her alone... Garland pulls me away from Mother and Jurian as their battle begins. I hear the dull clatter of metal as we run and can see the flashes of light even as we escape back the way we came. Garland... We've not gotten far when I force Garland to stop. Garland! It's only when I grab his shoulder that he stops and turns to look at me. Princess? We cannot leave her there. Maybe I can convince Mother to let her go. You really think you can convince that witch? I can try. My job is to keep you safe. Mother has all the power of the Crystallum Tenebrarum at her disposal. I force myself to say it. Jurian will not last long. Garland, you have to know this too. Jurian must know as well. Garland's jaw hardens and he stares at me, not truly looking at me, but through me. Garland, please. We can't let Jurian die. Not when we might be able to do something about it. Garland stares at the ground, his expression conflicted. I know he cares for her, and that's why he must go back for her. Garland closes his eyes briefly. When he opens them, I know he's made his decision. When we return, the scene is very different. Blood spatters the tunnel walls, and Jurian is on her knees, bent forward, her face away from us. My mother is nowhere to be seen. Jurian! Garland is suddenly in front of me, mindlessly racing toward Jurian. Jurian! Jurian! All at once she seems to come alive. She gasps out for breath and coughs. Garland, what are you doing here? I told you to... Her voice wavers as Garland crouches down in front of her. He folds himself around her and pulls her gently to his chest. His eyes are shut tight as he buries his face in her hair. Oh, she's gonna die, isn't she? Jurian chokes back a sob as she reaches up to hold him tightly. I exhale in relief. Both of them are alive and safe. Yeah, I don't know about that. You idiot! I told you to get her out! The princess gave me permission to disobey an order. He lifts his head to smile back at me. She outranks you, Jurian, at least as far as titles are concerned. Garland slowly guides her to her feet. What happened? The queen disappeared, and Jurian suddenly stops. We hear it at the same time, a terrible ripping sound like the air itself is being torn. I see the slither of shadows and unnatural light in the darkness, and suddenly I realize what's happening. My panicking mind is only able to process everything that happens in slow motion. Uh-oh, she's back. Hold on. Jurian's gonna die. Oh. Okay. I just heard a car alarm and I was like, uh-oh. I was like, okay, maybe somebody just triggered their alarm. It just went off for a couple seconds. Like, uh-oh, tree fell on the car or something. That would be terrible. Because, I mean, if your car alarm, if something hits your car, it's, like, probably going to go off. But Mother appears behind Jurian, poised to strike. I see the horror in Garland's eyes, then acceptance and determination. I try to cry out a warning, anything, but I can barely breathe. Garland pushes Jurian towards me and out of the way as he rushes my mother. He's going to die. Oh, no! At the same time Garland pushes forward, Mother holds out her hand. It takes only a single heartbeat for her to plunge it into Garland's chest. Garland! That's how I feel. What a loyal pet, giving your life for hers. Garland's face crumples in on itself. Even from where I am, I can hear Mother twist her hand inside of him. That is disgusting. And how sad. Mother wrenches her bloodied hand out and Garland falls to the ground. You fool. You didn't even tell her that you loved her. You! Jurian runs at my mother, a desperate cry of grief and rage escaping from her. Jurian, no! She's too weak from her own injuries. She can barely hold up her sword. I'm unable to speak or move as Jurian rushes toward her own death. But Mother simply sidesteps, her expression disinterested as Jurian falls to her knees. I was kind enough to kill him slowly for you, so you could say your goodbyes. Mother turns to face me. The blood drips from her hand down to her dress, where it congeals and oozes like black tar. Gross. Do you understand now, dearest one? This is what you've made me do. This is what I must do now to all those who have corrupted you. You were the one who forced my hand. Do not forget that. For a moment, the air in the tunnel disappears, and a terrible silence fills the darkness. By the time the air comes rushing back into my starved lungs, Mother is gone. The tunnel is empty. Light flickers in the aftermath of her disappearance. The only thing I can hear, apart from the rushing of blood in my ears, is Jurian's sobs. Garland! Garland, no! I make my way slowly towards her. It's like wading slowly through murky water. Jurian is leaning over Garland and has his head on her lap. He's still breathing. Parfait! Parfait can help him! When I crouch down, I can see the open wound Mother left behind. I swallow down the bile that rises in my throat, along with any of my words of comfort. Magic cannot fix this. Garland, please. I get down on my knees beside Jurian. This is my fault. Don't cry. Garland! So sad. I'm sniffling because of allergies, but it works for this because it sounds like I'm crying, and I really want to because it's sad. He smiles at her. It's a genuine smile that breaks my heart. Is it sad that I feel sadder that he died than I would if Jurian died? No offense to her, but I'm gonna miss his pretty face. Oh my god. Jurian shakes her head. No, Garland, you can't. Jurian, I love... His voice trails off as he closes his eyes, his breathing becoming more labored. He gasps one last time before his body stills completely. Guys, this is so fucking sad. Garland? Garland! I bite down on my tongue and bow my head as Jurian howls her loss into the silence of the blood-soaked tunnel. We spend some time with Garland in the tunnel. Jurian shakes with silent sobs as she grips his still body. But eventually, Jurian gently removes Garland from her lap as she stands up. She takes his sword as she presses her hand to his face one last time. Then she turns and walks away from Garland's body with his sword clutched tightly in one hand. She grips her sword in the other. It takes all that I have to keep up with her. Jurian, this is all my... Not now. Her voice is quiet and all the more disturbing for it. This is all my fault. Spacey, Jurian. Waltz? What is he doing here? Waltz comes running up to us, his eyebrows creased with worry. I've been waiting so long. I was about to... He pauses, his eyes flickering to the swords in Jurian's hands. Why do you have Garland's sword? Waltz's face pales. Where is he? Gone. What? Garland is gone. Her hands tighten on the swords she holds. For a few moments, her shoulders slouch, but then she turns away and abruptly continues walking. Let's go. Waltz turns to me. They said it was going to be a simple in and out, so I let them go alone. What happened in there? What do I say? It was my fault. Princess, I'm sure that's not true. I glare at Waltz, tears well in my eyes. It was my fault. Waltz falls silent as he studies my face. Then he sighs before taking my hand. We'll sort this out at the Marchand. Come on. As soon as the Marchand doors close behind us, Jurian collapses. Poor thing. Jurian... Hold on a second. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Just getting text about the storm from, like, my family, so I just wanted to make sure, like, yeah. The liquor store by my sister's still open. It's pretty funny. Importance. There are important things. Before I was like, I wonder if pizza places are still open. There's a pizza place by where my old building was that posted on Facebook, and it was like, hey, you should just get a couple pizzas and wrap up slices individually, freeze them, and then if your power goes out, you just thaw pizza. And it's like, he's like, come on, we've all eaten cold pizza at one time or another. And I'm like, no, cold pizza is amazing, but like, that's a great idea. Like, but I just got a bunch of like stuff from like a food box. I tried a new one, and I'm like, and I wouldn't have gotten it this week if I knew there was going to be a hurricane, but I'd gotten it, and then I came home, and then there was going to be a hurricane. I'm like, it's too late. So I'm like, I've been trying to cook all that shit and eat it because I'm like, otherwise, I'm like, I've cookies and brownies made out of chickpeas and black beans, so it's sort of like food, and I have pretzels, so I'll be okay. It's gonna suck. And cheese sticks. I'll be eating a lot of cheese sticks because they'll go bad otherwise. So that's. But the idea did occur to me of like, God, I should have like gotten like 5 pizzas, and they would have been like, that's a lot of pizza, and you'd be like, I'm just stocking up in case it's the apocalypse. Eat pizza for like a week, and then you're like, I hate pizza. I never want to see it again. Ugh. Anyway, Jurian. Luckily, I'm close enough to catch one of her arms, and Waltz is fast enough to catch the other. Move her to the chair. Together, we manage to guide Jurian to the chair. We set her down on it as gently as we can. I watch as she unfolds on the chair, and that's when I see the dark red slashes and tears in her clothing. Some of her wounds are open and visibly bleeding. She's still bleeding! Waltz pulls a cloth from his back pocket and hands it to me. Clean what you can. I'll get Lady Parfait and Rumple. He runs off, leaving me alone with Jurian. It looks like she's bleeding everywhere. I steel myself and kneel by her side. Kind of would have been better if you let your mother kill her. Well, that was Garland's fault, because I'm like, she's like half dead. She's gonna live. But like, what if she dies too? Then you lost both of them. Hold on. I do like Garland a little bit more. I'm not gonna lie, I really do. But anyway, I steel myself and kneel by her side. I gently reach out and begin to wipe at the worst of what I can see. Jurian moans and I flinch in sympathy. I'm sorry. I feel a lump rise in my throat. I convinced Garland to go back. If I hadn't, he wouldn't have. Jurian shifts slightly to put her hand on my cheek. Her touch is cool and gentle. Jurian? There's a softness in her gaze and an inexplicable kindness in the touch of her hand. After a moment, Jurian slowly nods and her eyes fell closed on a sigh. Wait, is she okay? Jurian? Jurian! Waltz! She just closed her eyes. She's not speaking. She's not going to die too, is she? Not if I have anything to say about it. Excuse me, Princess. Rumple gently pushes me aside and I let him, hovering over his shoulder as he crouches to inspect Jurian. Well? Princess. Walt steps beside me and gently places his hand on my arm. What? Rumple needs to work his magic now. And? So, why don't we get you something to drink? I'm not going to leave her. Princess, please. We should let Rumple work. I look back over my shoulder, watching how carefully Rumple attends to Jurian. Okay. Waltz's hand acts as my lifeline as he helps me into the tavern area. My legs become weaker with every step. Hi, stranger. Delora. I only realize that I'm running to her after I barrel into her. I bury my face in her shoulder as I suppress a sob. Delora's arms come around me, holding me tight as whatever calm facade I was holding up comes apart at the seams. Waltz, would you please get those mugs? Of course. Delora leads me to one of the benches, one of her arms still around me so she can rub my back. Somehow, the simple gesture is helping me calm down. Spacey, are you hurt? I shake my head. Thank goodness for that. I stay in her embrace until Waltz returns to place something on the table. How are we doing? I pull away reluctantly to rub at my eyes. I am okay. Delora takes a mug and places it in my hand. Good. Now drink. I don't question and raise the mug to my mouth. Hot chocolate. Delora made this for me before. I take a few deep swallows of the hot, sweet liquid. You're like, bitch, I need vodka straight right now. Better. Yes. Spacey, can you tell me what happened? Mother found us in the tunnels. Jurian told Garland to get me out. My throat threatens to close, but I forced the words out. Mother's so strong, and I thought Jurian might not survive. So I convinced Garland to go back, and that's when I stared down at my mug, my hands trembling. It's my fault. It's all my fault. If I hadn't convinced Garland to go back, Mother wouldn't have killed him. The silence in the tavern is deafening. Finish your hot chocolate, Spacey. I obey without a word. Everyone is going to be so angry with me. It's my fault Garland is dead, and it's my fault Jurian is injured. Have you heard about your stepfamily? I know they're gone. Are they... are they dead as well because of me? Hey, don't look like that. I'll have you know that I had to use a sleeping spell on Prince Rod and Princess Emmeline earlier. They heard about what Jurian and Garland were going to do tonight. I don't think I would have been able to stop them from coming along on the rescue mission otherwise. What? You got them out, Princess. Varg would have killed them if you hadn't stepped in. Our poor Fritz would have been a murderer. The Queen was already waiting at the end of the tunnel on the day the Prince and the Princess escaped. Alcester must have somehow gotten wind of the escape plan, which is why he had Varg try to eliminate them then and there. Security tightened more after that day. Oh, thank goodness. And we've been worrying about you ever since you left. Well, ever since you stormed out all those months ago. Dolores' smile is sad as she reaches up to push my hair out of my face. None of this was your fault, Spacey. If anything, it was mine. Mine and Parfait's for letting this happen. We tried to help you escape, but we couldn't break the shield around the palace in fear of putting everyone inside in danger. That's why we had to wait. We never thought we'd have to worry about Hildyr being revived. And though we would have liked to save you outside of the palace... That's right. I was out of the palace more than a couple of times. Once with Varg and another with Mother. We couldn't put the lives of others in danger when Hildyr was right there. She would have killed the citizens. Even if I'd wanted to escape the day I was with Varg, he wouldn't have let me. I grip my now empty mug. Princess, I understand how you feel, and I know it's difficult. But frankly, we have bigger fish to fry. We have bigger fish to fly. To fry. Fish and fry got mixed up there in my brain. Oh my god. I think you realize now what kind of a person Hildyr is. I do. Then you know what we have to do. Kill her? She's like, I was going to say trap her, but okay. I know too well what it is we must do. In fact, I knew this was bound to happen sooner or later. Okay, sorry. I just heard a really weird noise and I was like, I need to pause and listen. And I was like, no. Okay, it was just a truck driving down the road. I started this. I don't know if I can fix everything, and I don't know if I can save Angele. But no matter how long it might take, I must make things right. I finally look up at Delora and nod. We have to stop Mother. Chapter 9. Rebellion. Woo, guys, this is the last chapter before we get our ending. Because of the severity of Jurian's wounds, Rumple decided he would bring her to the nearest clinic so she could be better cared for. Anise decided to go with him, and surprisingly, Ophelia and her children all opted to go as well. Now, the only ones left here at the tavern are me, Delora, Waltz, and Karma. They may not say it, but I'm sure they're blaming me for what's happening to Angele right now. I need to make things right. I close my eyes and a sudden bout of dizziness comes over me. Mother has always been the person that mattered most to me. I never questioned or disobeyed her because she was so important. She was my light in days that were often so dark. But I have no choice. If Mother isn't stopped, who knows how many more lives will be lost. The only way to stop Mother is to kill her, isn't it? I'm sorry, but this really is the only way. Yes, I know. But I don't think I could kill her myself. Delora has a knowing look in her eyes as she turns to address Waltz. We'll leave as soon as Parfait comes back from her meeting with the fairies. If you can fully use your magic, then we may actually stand a chance. Magic? What are you talking about? Waltz is just a street magician. What help could he be? Don't underestimate our magician. Waltz is a witch and a lot stronger than he looks. Waltz is a witch? You know I have the Neverland curse. Yes? I don't know that fairy tale, but what does that have to do with anything? Your mother was the witch that cursed me. Oh, I thought it was Mithros. Huh. All right, well. What? But Waltz, if you're also a witch, how can you be cursed? Your mother is a tenebrae bearer, which means she has the power to punish all witches if she chooses. As to why he was cursed, Waltz's expression darkens. Hildur needed to be stopped. I knew I couldn't defeat her alone, so I enlisted the help of the fairies. I betrayed her, and she punished me before she died. Waltz almost single-handedly brought about the end of the Great War. He's the reason we've been enjoying this peace for as long as we have, and that's why he's our canon path. He took down our mother! He betrayed our mother and will marry him. That's great. I love it. I never knew. Of course, you can only imagine how displeased Hildur was with Waltz. Hildur stole my shadow and sealed it away in Neverland. Your shadow? We really need to work on your fairy tale knowledge one of these days, Princess. Peter Pan is a boy that lives in Neverland, which is a place where children never grow up. Waltz's curse means that he's been frozen in a child's body since Hildur cursed him all those years ago. He can't grow up, and he can't use any of his magic. Well, I could still do some spells, but only simple, harmless ones. So I wonder if he was a child then when he helped her, and then she cursed him so that he's never aged, and then all of a sudden he's like, well, it's been 4 years. I don't know. It seems more like she cursed him and now he turned back into I don't know, whatever how. For Waltz to get his magic back, he needs to find Tinkerbell, which is the key to Neverland. We need to unlock his shadow. But all this time you've never found Tinkerbell or Neverland? Oh geez, that's a big ass wind gust. It's scary. I've looked everywhere I could think of. I'm sure she cast a spell on it to make it more difficult to locate. Even in the palace? Dolores snorts and I suddenly feel embarrassed. Oh, of course not. Why would Waltz look in the palace first? I mean, especially considering Hildur is the queen and has numerous secret chambers for things she wants to keep hidden. Looking through the entirety of the palace for a small box might be difficult. Neverland is a box that was left to me by my parents. It's made of gold with carvings that resemble a pair of wings. What? Waltz jumps at my sudden reaction. That's the box we saw. I told you! I told you. The end of the last path. This is why there's an order, because it makes more sense. Because now when he's talking about it, that's how, in the end of Rumpel's route, remember, we're like, what's this box? I should unlock it. And then nothing happens. And then all of a sudden Waltz is big. And he's like, yeah, so I found my thing. And he doesn't explain it. And it's it's that box in our fucking room. That's why our mother gave it to us. And never open it. What? It's not Pandora's box. It's Waltz's box. Woo! Princess? That box. I'd forgotten about it, but I can vaguely remember an old box in my room that matches that description. Mother left me a trinket box and a key that matches that description. She told me never to touch the box or to let anyone see it. I've had it for years. All this time Tinkerbell and Neverland were with you? I never knew what was inside. I was too afraid to disobey Mother's orders. Thought of her giving you that box never even crossed my mind. But now, thinking back on it, it makes sense. I want to ask him what he means, but we're running out of time. I'll have to ask him about it at a later time. I can get Neverland and Tinkerbell to you. I can return your magic. With Waltz back to his true form, we may have a fighting chance at this. So what do we do first? We? There's no we in this, Spacey. Only us. But I just said I could help. It's too dangerous, Princess. But I'm the only one who knows where to find the box. Then you'll tell us where it is, and we'll retrieve it. It's as simple as that. I scowl at her with my arms crossed. Oh god, the winds are picking up. It's scary. I refuse to stay here and be useless while everyone else puts themselves at risk saving Angeal. Angeal is this way because I brought back Mother. I must take responsibility. And I'll not let anyone else die at Mother's hands. Spacey, Mother is less likely to harm me. I have a better chance of getting Neverland and Tinkerbell without causing a disturbance. How can you say that after what's already happened? You're not safe either, Spacey. No sooner as she said the words that a terrible blast echoed through the Marchen. Hold on. This would have been so much more perfect if it was close to time. I would have been like, end time! Bye, guys. Fuck you! I cough as smoke envelops the tavern. Oh, God. A silhouette emerges in front of us, and I feel my blood turn cold when I realize who it is. Hello, Varg. Varg. Just when I thought I was safe, Varg reappears. Oops. I always forget how powerful this thing can get. Where previously there had been a wall made of stone, sturdy and strong, there's now a sizable hole. Remnants of brick and stone collapse inward in the aftermath. The dust rises to settle around Varg's feet where he stands casually twirling his cane. I hope I'm not disturbing anything, but all the doors were locked. Karma! Karma? Delora and I turn to glance at the wall behind us where Waltz is looking. Karma is standing there, injured. Oh no! His forehead has a large gash, and one of his arms is limp and useless. He still manages to tightly grip the hilt of his sword with his other hand. How the hell did you hurt Karma? Karma's magical. Where did Karma come from? I would have appreciated you destroying less property when you knocked on a tavern door. And I would have appreciated if you'd gotten out of my way when I asked politely, so I wouldn't have to resort to explosions. Seems both of us are disappointed. What do you want, Varg? Don't we already know the answer to that question? Come on. Varg turns to look at me expectantly. I thought the stolen goods would be brought here. What did you just call me? Karma lets out a harsh laugh. Has no one told you that women don't like being imprisoned against their will? Has no one told you people that it's not good to steal? I am not an item to be stolen or imprisoned. I ball my hands into fists. I can't let Varg hurt anyone here. I have no idea if this will work. But if Fritz truly is fighting, then he must be able to hear my voice. Fritz! Varg growls, his eyes bright and angry as he glares at me. You need to give up on him, Princess. Never! Fritz, I know you're still there. No matter what you say, nothing will change. Fritz is gone. Aduva! He won't. Varg chokes on his words and doubles over. You are being very annoying. Did it work? Out of the corner of my eye, I notice Karma preparing to attack while Varg is momentarily weakened. But something doesn't feel right. Karma, stop! What? Get the princess away from here. What's happening? That voice. Fritz! Despite the fact that it's Varg standing before me, it's most certainly Fritz looking at me through those eyes. Please. I don't know how long I can hold him here. You all need to get out of here while you still can. You need to keep the princess safe. Keep her away from the palace. Waltz, get her out of here now. No! I dodge Waltz's reaching hands and attempt to run towards Fritz. Keep her safe, please. Now! No, don't hurt him! Karma runs forward, his sword raised just as Waltz grabs my hand and pulls me out of the way. No! Time slows as I watch Varg slowly come back to coherence. His lips curl into a snarl as he begins to bring his cane down to the floor. Delora throws her hand out, the collected light racing toward Varg. Varg stumbles back, his cane never hitting the floor. Varg growls as he glares up at Delora. Witches are so inconvenient. Unfortunately, Delora's not the only inconvenience in this room. Varg raises his cane to block Karma's next swing. Tch! Waltz grips my hand and tugs. We have to go, Princess. I glance back at Karma and Delora. There must be something I can do. We're supposed to help them. My eyes drift toward Varg's cane. The cane is the source of his magic. If I can get it away from him, the Delora and Karma will stand a chance. With renewed determination, I run toward Varg. Princess! I barrel past Carmen, hit Varg square in the gut with my shoulder, forcing him backwards into the ground. I manage to twist the cane away from him and clutch it as Varg rises and begins to advance toward me. No time for games. Give it back! No. You really are nothing without your cane, aren't you? For a moment, there's only a silence as Varg freezes. I can't read the expression on his face. What is he thinking? Varg breaks the silence when he bursts out laughing. It's a sound that holds a certain chaos. The cane is not my only weapon. I watch as Varg slips a dagger out from his sleeve. And what are you going to do with that little thing? Poke me? Who said anything about you? With a smirk, Varg brings the dagger to his neck. Oh my god! No! Who said anything about you? No, don't kill yourself! Wait, oh god. Fritz is in there. Son of a bitch. Yeah, go ahead and kill your... Oh, but Fritz... Shit! The dagger is more than enough to do some damage to the princess's favorite knights. No! Now that is definitely cheating. This is ridiculous. You share a body. You'll end up hurting yourself as well. Varg shrugs, and I can't tell if he's really unconcerned or pretending to be. I'll do whatever it takes. Varg smiles at me. In this light, his teeth appear to be gleaming and sharp, like he has fangs. Now give me back my cane and do precisely as I tell you, or the boy dies. I stand still. I can't look away from Varg's gaze, which is bright with triumph. If Fritz dies, you die as well. Are you not afraid of death? I was never really alive to begin with. I'm just a bit of Fritz's mind given independence. His body isn't mine, so I can destroy it and not feel a thing. It'll be Fritz that suffers. Princess, don't listen to him. You know it's a trap. I know Waltz is telling the truth. I can see it in the look on Varg's face. I grip the cane tighter to me. Varg is lying to me. He'll definitely suffer, but he's also serious about hurting Fritz. And I can't let that happen. No, do as you're told, little princess. Don't be stupid, Spacey. You'll leave everyone here alone? Varg nods, amusement flickering in his eyes. As my princess commands. Princess, don't! I'm so sorry. But just as I start to move toward Varg, a bright light shines out from behind me. Parfait. The shield of light pushes forward past me, shoving Varg back and out through the hole he'd made in the wall. Then I turn, barely able to believe what I see. Parfait! She comes to stand in front of me. Listen closely. We don't have much time. Parfait's eyes flicker to Varg, who's shifting ever so slightly in the rubble. Even I can tell that he's only temporarily out of commission. Tomorrow, midnight, meet us at the palace gates. Bring Neverland and Tinkerbell with you. But you... Do you understand? I falter as I imagine what Parfait could possibly be planning, but I have no time and I can read nothing in her gaze. There's nothing else for me to do but nod in understanding. Yes, I understand. Parfait smiles at me as she caresses my cheek with a gentle hand. I have faith in you, princess. We all do. You'll be fine. Parfait grabs me by the shoulders and forcefully pushes me toward Varg. He catches me, his hand firmly gripping my shoulders as I'm careened into him. Keep her safe, Fritz. Varg flinches. He's inhaling and getting ready to speak when the air around us suddenly thins and we're swallowed by light. When I'm able to breathe again, I open my eyes and I see that I'm back at the palace. Did Parfait transport us? I become aware that Varg still has his hands on my shoulders and I wrench free from his grip. Strange that your friends would actually send you back here with me. Seems like they need you to retrieve something from the palace. Varg reaches out and snatches his cane from my hands. I'm not letting you leave the palace again, princess. The palace is eerily silent, and it's as if none of the chaos that just transpired ever happened, like it was all a dream. I ignore Varg and walk back through the gates as I suffocate the seething turmoil inside of me. Just try and stop me. I'll kill you, Varg. No, I won't, because you're my boyfriend and I love you. Well, not yet, but, Not my boyfriend yet, but she loves him. Anyway, you know what I mean. Hold on. Why can't she just open the box? She's in a room. Why can't she just open it and like release his magic to him? Why does he have to do it? I don't know. I slam my bedroom door behind me and lock it. It's only been a few hours since I was here. Since Jurian and Garland, I close my eyes and will the memories away. Now's not the time. I must keep my promise to Parfait. I begin to search through my drawers. I could have sworn that this was the last place I saw Neverland and Tinkerbell. There it is. Tinkerbell, an elaborate golden key, is exactly where I remember leaving it. I place it carefully underneath my lamp so as to keep it hidden from sight. But where's Neverland? I nearly turn my room upside down looking for it, but I never find the golden box. It should be here. Why isn't it here? My body is heavy after all that happened today, and I soon find myself collapse on my bed. It'll be fine. I have until midnight tomorrow to find it. I'll continue looking in the morning. Yeah, your mother fucking took it. Oh, Fritz. All right, we'll go for another few minutes. We got a little bit of time. My sleep is broken and disjointed, so when dawn comes filtering through my windows, I'm already half awake. I pull myself out of bed and rub at my eyes. I need to find Neverland. I retrieve Tinkerbell from where I'd hidden it and slip the key into my pocket. Then, with renowned determination, I continue my search. Why isn't it here? It had been right next to Tinkerbell. I feel I would remember if I had moved it. But I did drop Neverland months ago, didn't I? I've been meaning to get it fixed, but I always forgot. But it's not here. That means someone must have taken it. But who? Would Mother or Mithros have taken it? Where should I look? Throne room. That's where it tells us to look, is the throne room. That's what it told me to click! Anyway, thankfully, when I get to the throne room, it's empty. I'm not sure why it would be in the throne room, but where do I even begin to look? Out of the corner of my eye, I notice something sparkle from the throne. I rush toward the throne and I'm unable to believe my dumb luck. The box is definitely there, sitting right in front of me. I found it. But why is it just sitting here? Something feels off. If it isn't my disobedient daughter. I reach out and snatch Neverland to hold it to my chest. I have to keep Neverland and Tinkerbell safe. I would unlock the fucking box. No matter what. I'm glad to see one of my servants is capable. Still, I wonder why Varg didn't report his success in retrieving you. Varg didn't tell her? I shall have a word with that cur. Mother walks toward me. I was not amused when you left the palace, Spacey, but I thought that sooner or later Faye would send you here to retrieve something. You're a very good girl for keeping that box safe as I told you to. But I see it was a mistake to leave it here while I was attending to Mithros's reports. I clutched Neverland tighter. This doesn't belong to you. Mother's voice is ice cold when she speaks. Oh? Shit, we gotta open that fucking box like now. Sorry, hold on. Pieces are strong right now. You hurt me so much last night. I hope you're not planning on leaving me again. Hold on. God. I know you're hurting too, dearest one. I know you want to stay here with me. Mother sighs, and suddenly I can see the mother from my memories, the one that had held me close and sung me to sleep at night. Fucking A. If Faye hadn't interfered, you would be so much happier. Faye? Once upon a time, she was a dear friend. We were like sisters until she betrayed me. She's no doubt going by a different name to hide her true nature from you. But you know now. You know she's pulling that you. Oh, but you now know. You know she's pulling you from your birthright. You were happier when you couldn't remember, weren't you? What? Oh, my darling. Mother reaches for me and I can't move as she sets a hand on my cheek. I've only ever wanted to protect you, Spacey. I've only ever wanted the best for you. Mother gently runs a hand through my hair. Run. I sacrificed so much so that my daughter could be a crown princess. I didn't want to erase your memories, but I knew how much it would hurt if you knew my true nature. And I knew how sad you would be if you knew just how much your father didn't love us. Either of us. And all because of his ridiculous love for that wretched harlot and her whelps. The very same commoner he married after I was gone. The woman he sought to marry from the start. Hold. Ophelia? The king has loved Ophelia for so long? Isn't that unbelievable? That he was still so loyal to her, even after he had me? I should have made good on my threat and just killed her regardless of whether Gennaro did as I demanded. Ah, but he has always hated witches. That's why he's so cruel to you. Why he was so cruel to both of us. Dearest one, we only have each other. So it was, and so it will be. I'm the only one that will never hurt you. The only one you ever need to love and obey. Your longing for anyone else, your memories of anyone else, they're all unnecessary. Now be a good girl and listen to Mother. Refuse. I flinch away from Mother's reaching hand. Mother hurt the king. She hurt so many people. She killed Garland. No. What did you say to me? I can't let her hurt anyone else. No. Mother's eyes glitter as light begins to collect in her palms. I can only bear your disobedience for so long, Spacey. It seems you require disciplining. Mother raises her hands, the light reflecting the cruelty in her gaze that I'm now too familiar with. Knowing I couldn't outrun her, I turn my back and hold Neverland to my chest. I must protect Neverland. The air crackles and I brace myself for whatever Mother might unleash. I feel a hand on my back and then I'm pushed away. I fall down on the ground, hard. Varg? What was that? Oh, ooh! You! Oh, look up Delora! Did you miss me? Delora! How did you get in here? I had some help. Princess! Fritz? Oh! Did Fritz fight against Varg and win? Oh! Fritz runs towards me and holds out his hand to help me up. Fritz! I thought I'd lost you. It's only for a second, but he pulls me close to him in a hug. I would never leave you. Fritz's arms tighten around me briefly before he releases me. We both turn to face Mother. You were going to hurt her. Your own daughter. This is no concern of yours, and even if it was, what could you hope to achieve? You're so much weaker than the wolf, so much weaker than Varg. Fritz's body stiffens. Even now you only cling to a shred of control. Tell me, Sir Fitzgerald, how much longer until you're completely erased? He was strong enough to resist Varg, so much so that he was able to get me in here past your guards and your barriers. I think that makes Fritz plenty strong. I do not recall giving the traitor permission to speak. Do not think I've forgotten how you betrayed me, Delora. I haven't forgotten anything either, Hildir. Lorrea was only a child. Her fate was entirely your doing. Who are you talking about? Lorrea was my daughter. Oh, poor Delora. Aww. I never heard Dolores speak of a child. I'd always opposed Hildir's actions. I disagreed with her creation of the fairy tale curse from the beginning. But when I voiced my opinions out loud, she targeted my daughter. She killed her in front of me. Suddenly everything in the room is still. The two women glare at each other, but neither one of them moves. This part's going to go on forever, so I'm going to stop here with them staring each other down. I know it's not a good place. Spacey stops in an inconvenient place. Shots. Anyway, I'm going to stop here, and we'll continue in the next part with them glaring each other down, and we'll see what happens. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.